I still remember the moment when I truly understood what success actually means. Not abstractly, not theoretically, but deeply. I was sitting in a small cafe. It was raining outside, people rushed by, lost in their everyday routines. I was having one of those days again. One of those days where you question everything. Why some people seem to earn millions effortlessly while others struggle their entire lives. I asked myself, what separates the winners from the ones who never make it? And then, seemingly out of nowhere, an older entrepreneur I happened to meet there told me, it's not luck, it's skills. 4 of them. If you master them and combine them, the future is yours. I didn't know in that moment that this sentence would change my life, but it did. Skill number 1, selling, but the only way it truly works. Many people believe a business starts with an idea, or with a logo, or with a website, but that's not true. A business begins the moment a person who doesn't know you decides to trust you and buys from you, not before. And selling does not mean memorizing words, or applying clever techniques, or saying phrases that sound persuasive. Selling begins with you. I realized this for the first time when I tried to present my first offer to someone. I had written everything down perfectly. I knew every sentence. I knew exactly what I wanted to say. But the person in front of me just smiled politely. They listened. And in the end, they said, I'll have to think about it. I was frustrated. I thought, but I did everything right? My mentor looked at me and said, you don't believe in what you're offering, so why should anyone else? That hit me hard because I knew he was right. If you want to sell, you don't have to convince others. You have to convince yourself. If you don't believe your offer is valuable, how should anyone else? And people can see that in your eyes, in your posture, in your breath, in the silence between your words. It's not about being loud or talking fast. The best sellers are not the loudest. They are the clearest, the calmest, the most convinced. Then comes the moment most people avoid, asking for the sale. Most talk. They explain. They answer questions. And then they wait, out of fear of hearing no. But every time you don't ask, you are the one telling yourself no, not the customer. When I learned to clearly say, if this makes sense for you, let's do it. I'm ready. Everything changed. Selling is not manipulation. Selling is leadership. Skill number 2, presenting and communicating. The door opener skill. I wasn't always good at speaking in front of people. My first talk was, let's say, embarrassing. I stuttered. I sweated. My voice trembled. I tried to sound smart. I tried to be perfect. I tried to speak correctly. But the problem was this. I was thinking only about myself. What are they thinking about me? Do I look nervous? Am I doing this right? Until I learned, communication begins only when you stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about your audience. The focus shifts. Suddenly it becomes, what does the person in front of me need? How can I help them? What story can I tell so they feel what I mean? Because people do not remember facts. They remember how something made them feel. If you want to move people, tell stories. Your stories, real ones, not perfect ones, true ones. The more vulnerable you become, the stronger you become. Skill number 3, networking. The people who lift you up, your life doesn't change because of what you know. It changes because of who you know. I remember the evening I organized my first event. I hadn't met a single person there before. 90 people came. It felt like the biggest blind date in the world. And yet, that evening, I met partners, mentors, friends, clients, investors. Not because I was someone, but because I created something that brought people together. If you want to grow, create spaces where people meet. A meetup, a Zoom mastermind, a shared project, a small event, even if it's tiny. Those who bring people together will always be valuable. And one more thing, if you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. Skill number 4, content and storytelling. Attention is the new capital. We live in a time where everyone has access to reach, but only few use it. You don't need camera teams. You don't need the perfect voice. You don't need absolute certainty. What you need is the courage to be seen. Content is the skill of telling stories in a way that makes people stop, listen, feel. This has something to do with me. It's not about going viral. It's about presence, consistency, repetition, tiny improvements. Mr. Beast didn't become the biggest because his first videos were good. They were terrible, but he didn't stop. You don't have to be good immediately. You just have to be willing to start bad and finish great. And if you combine these four skills, selling, communication, networking, and storytelling, then you have a foundation that can take you to any goal you want. Millions are no longer a dream. They become a logical consequence. And do you know what surprised me most on this journey? The real battle doesn't happen on the outside, not against the market, not against competitors, not against the system. The battle happens within yourself, between the old version of you, the one afraid of failing, of judgment, of not being enough, and the new version of you, who is already ready, but still has to learn to allow themselves to be great. Maybe you know that feeling, that moment before you start something new, that pressure in your chest, those thoughts that try to keep you small. What if I fail? What if people laugh? What if it doesn't work? But let me ask you a real question. What if it works? What if your life is unrecognizable in a year? What if you reach people, inspire them, change them? What if you become the person your younger self always hoped you would become? There's a sentence that has followed me for years. Fear doesn't disappear. Courage just means you move forward anyway. The first time I posted a video, I was afraid. The first time I sold something, I was afraid. The first time I organized an event, I was afraid. Choosing to be visible, I was afraid. But do you know when fear fades? When you act? Always. Because the moment you do what you're afraid of, your brain rewires. You prove to yourself that you are someone who acts. And then something new appears. Pride, inner calm, self-respect. That is the real reward. Not the money, not the status, not the result. But the feeling of being able to say to yourself, I am someone who takes my dreams seriously. Once you feel that, truly feel it, there is no going back. You grow. You evolve. You don't just change your reality, you change your identity. And one day you wake up and realize you have become the person you once went searching for. If this video helped you, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community of people who don't just dream, but act. See you on the other side. What if success wasn't about luck, but about mastering 4 simple skills? In this video, you'll learn the 4 abilities that can transform your life, your mindset, your business, and your results. No matter where you're starting from, you'll discover how to sell without manipulation, how to communicate so people listen and trust you, how to build a powerful network that opens doors, how to use content and storytelling to create visibility and financial freedom. This isn't motivation. This is real strategy. Clear, honest, actionable. If you're ready to grow into the person you know you could be, press play. Your future self will thank you.